Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for extra support. Any kind of updates usually I go about on Twitter X. On the channel, later today we'll have another episode of Midnight Suns. And just as usual, quick reminder: I have some completed gameplay series. The older ones are 1080p, and the most recent are 4K. And when I can, I will eventually know about anything regarding live stream, which at this moment in time is on pause but not cancelled. So let's go to the news. We got more Intel. Now they completely changed the names now. Intel Core Ultra 9, the 7, and the 5, which is the 285K, and then the 265K and F variants, and then the 245K F variants also listed by the first retailer, which I think it's UK one. If not, yeah, UK based retailer Lambda Tech listed a lot of those. Again, it's just listing. I'm assuming they are at this moment in time placeholders, given that we don't have any images. Even the description is kind of very bare bones, just giving us like the information. I think it's basically placeholders because it just says what the model is, how many cores total have, and the boost clock and the socket there. I don't see. Again, we only have like these little codes here. I think it's for internal reference and all that jazz. But might give us a little bit more insight of what Intel is trying to do here. It seems to me that they canceled the one event where they were supposed to do kind of a more detailed announcement in terms of specs and everything, but supposedly didn't delay the launch of the CPUs themselves. Again, I think this is, again, if not mistaken, the I think this is the new way they are formatting there. So there is not going to be, from what I understand, the 15,000 or the 15th generation. They just change the name again, which is always a little bit tricky to follow up these things for me. But it seems that the ones they already launched are for the laptop stuff, if not mistaken, given the TDP, total demand power, whatever it's called, by the fact that the maximum that we have here is 65 watts. I think it's for higher laptop stuff there. This is like the 35 watts seems to be the like the slim laptop thingy there. At least that's my perception of things. Again, this is Lunar Lake. No, Arrow Lake S. Okay, Jesus. The naming schemes is so confusing to me. But we got also placeholder for the prices there. Again, I don't know if there is any kind of already kind of benchmarks kind of a thing. I don't think so. But my overall sense is hopefully this is a good launch for Intel. Again, I don't want to see any kind of these huge companies fail, mainly because of the competition to the other companies that are on the market. In this case, specifically AMD. I prefer that Intel has an excellent launch and the products are good, that they are not defective, and the price to performance is competitive. What already AMD has launched there, because in the end, everybody will benefit from that. Um, Again, but my thing with Intel is the fact that they usually change the socket stuff, and then you have to every couple of generations or so usually have to buy a new motherboard to get around and buy the CPU there. It's always an hassle there, at least for me, in terms of longevity of those of the platform itself is not very long, while AMD took a jump and have increased longevity on their platforms in the case of AM4 and now with AM5. Um, yeah, I think it's the main thing with Intel is I think they need to take a different approach there, even though it justifies sales. So if you can manage to sell CPUs and then an extra motherboard there, you make more money. but in the end, people tend to refrain to buy newer components in the sense that they will be more hesitant to buy a new CPU if the board that you have to for that CPU is completely different than the one, or it's not supported with a board or compatible with a board that you already have. People are usually tend to be more hesitant, at least from my experience. um, that's why at the time, like a year and a half ago, almost no 1 year and a couple of months, when I did my PC, I was at first hesitant, jumping completely on AMP5, and I was checking even Intel platforms there, and I just scrapped because I knew to a certain degree that I could buy. I think it. I was checking 13th generation. Uh, I knew that after at least 1 or 2 generations max, I have to, when I if I wanted to update my PC, I had to buy a completely new motherboard. While with M4, and I managed to jump to the boat of the AM5 platform, I kind of are more reassured that AM5 probably will be supported when I buy a CPU from, I don't know, 2 3 years time. If they follow the trend that they did with M4, they are still launching new variants of CPUs. They are not new CPUs per se. They are basically reskinned CPUs from lower yields. They just downgrade a little bit here and there. But yeah, it's still new CPUs to a certain degree, and which indicates that the platform is still supported in that sense. And I think I'm more confident that in 2 3 years time, if I want to update my CPU, I will keep my board, so I don't have to buy a new board with that CPU. But yeah, other than that, regardless of that, I hope that they have a good launch on this new CPU stuff there, and might be a stepstone for them to the business start catching up, and not feel mandated and focus on their overall products on to avoid any kind of more layoffs and all that jazz. They really need to get their shit together, so they can avoid what happened throughout this year, basically from the 13 and 14 gen CPUs basically degrading. The error made confusion there. Then they had to lay off a lot of people because of the foundry issue stuff there. The battle mage is a shit show. Nobody knows what they want to do there. Even though they took the jump to Alchemist, I think they should maintain there, because there is a good possibility of having good competition, healthy competition on the middle range of the GPU stuff there. I think a lot of people might jump in and buy some Battle Mage if the launch is good, and the if the GPUs themselves are pretty good, at least in terms of price to performance. Because Alchemist, since it was launched, it improved steadily, at least from the side of the software. So I think they have a good stepping stone to launch Battle Mage with that baseline and mainframe of software support for the Battle Mage. The hardware just need to perform as expected, or at least as announced. The top tier being around-ish the 4080-ish kind of uh, performance there, give or take. I think people can forgive a little bit if it's not on the top tier of the 4080 in terms of trading blows with that, because we also will have, in the meantime, the RDNA 4 lineup supposedly is going to try the the SKU that is going to be the highest one from RDNA4 is also trying to compete with at least around 48-ish in terms of rasterizations, in terms of performance there, by being cheaper. And again, the more competition that you have there, it pressures the manufacturers to compete between each other. And given that the performance is the same, they will try to battle out in prices and pressure each other. So at the end, the consumer will have a cheaper product, but at least with the same level of quality. But yeah, overall, this is hopefully we'll get more details, some at least benchmarks, and then we'll have to wait for the reviews. I'm not sure when this is supposed to launch. People are saying next month. I don't know. AMD already took the jump with the 9000 series, even though it's not basically leaps and bounds or any kind of significant improvement from the 7000 series on the CPUs. I don't feel any kind of mofo regarding the CPU that I have, which is a 7700X. It performs well. In terms of gaming, I don't see huge uplifts or any kind of justification of upgrading my CPU there. Mainly the way I play games, I don't see any kind of pressure or any kind of mofo of have to buy this CPU or else I'm losing something. I think it, to a certain degree, even with the prices, it was a little bit botched the launch on the 9000 series from AMD. Hopefully, Intel can take advantage of that and launch a pretty competitive product there, at least at the same level 9000 series, but with the prices of the 7000. I think it will be good for them if they manage to go about that. But yeah, but they need, I think they need to clear the slate on the issues that they have at this moment with the RMA stuff, with the 13 and 14 gen. Take a clear guidance and path forward regarding their foundry business, which has to do a lot with the over, like the big slice of business that they have, and also make it I don't know, they have to communicate better regarding what they are going to do with Battle Mage, if anything, because consumers um, tend to be I don't know, suspicious when you say something and then you just delay, but in the meantime the other side of your business is not very good, and people then will hesitate to jump when the product launches, because they might be afraid that that product is also have something wrong with it because you delayed endlessly without any kind of viable justification in their eyes. But yeah, hopefully they will this will be that's my wish, is this is going to be a good launch for Intel in the overall scheme of things there, and they can start recouping and gaining their foot on the business side of things there. Regarding games, we got interesting update on Alan Wake. Again, it will receive an update in a couple of days or so, which is basically has to do with the song. The song in question is the Space Oddity by David Bowie, very well-known song from the artist. Again, they will decide to remove this song mainly because of licensing payments. Again, doesn't justify them, and they, instead of removing the game or just deleting, they will be replacing this song with the in-house composer Petri Alanko. From what I understand here, I completely forgot to highlight this article. I don't know why. Uh, they decided to replace with a song there. The theme seems to be kind of the same thing there, which is an astronaut is in is stranded in space, with is having some issues, and then basically the theme of the song is accepting those issues and try to resolve them the best he can with a positive outlook. At least that's my perception of what the artist was saying here. But yeah, because they don't have to pay a license fee to him, because he's already an in-house composer. He composed more songs for Alan Wake and also for Control, and I think the song it was already on the files of Alan Wake. He supposedly was used in a part of the game that was afterwards cut out from Alan Wake. So they are basically recovering that song to be introduced and replace the Space Oddity from David Bowie. But yeah, other than that, I don't see the remastered version, which is not going to be changed from what is saying here. The remastered version of 2021, it will maintain itself with that song. So I'm not sure what it's. I think it's because when you buy the license, is like a time limit there. That's why I think they must have bought the license for this song for the remastered version for X amount of years. So that's why it's not going to be affected. While on the original Alan Wake, the licensing time expired or something like that, and they chose to replace that instead of renewing the license to continue to be used for the song to be continued used with Alan Wake game. Um, I don't think this has anything to do at this moment in time. I don't have the suspicion of this being anything related by the fact that Alan Wake is not still didn't recoup their development costs or anything. I don't think they are at this moment in time in any kind of financial danger by the fact they don't have money to renew the license. I think it was a matter of trying to just. I think it's more simple for them instead of worrying with music license, having kind of basically an in-house music composer. I think it's make things a little bit easier for them. But yeah, other than that, I don't see any kind of big issues because they already have funding for other games they are working on, the projects, the sequel to Control and the remasters of Max Payne, if not mistaken, the one and the first and the second Max Payne games there. I think they are working with 2K because I think that IP belongs to 2K, if not mistaken, but they did an agreement with the Remedy to make remasters of those games. That's my perception. I think I'm not saying anything wrong there. But yeah, this is the update that the game will receive. There was also a Silent Hill 2 remake stream. I think this is a sponsor stream because this is again the playing the game from the beginning. I think it is trying to gather some interest from players. Um the live stream is 90 minutes, but the gameplay is not 90 minutes. I think it's about an hour or so because there is the opening of the live stream and then the teasers and everything. Again, this game doesn't look as good as being announced there. Uh, the environment stuff, the graphics are updated, that's for sure. Some character models are completely, uh, I don't know, weird. Especially the first lady that we encounter, her face looks like, I don't know, very weird. Doesn't look like very much a human face in certain angles. At least I didn't watch. I just skipped through some parts here to try to get a sense of what the gameplay is. The navigation system seems okay. The environment seemed more than okay, even though there seems some oddities here and there on while he's going around there. I don't know if it is like hitboxes or something like that. When you interact with stuff, it's very weird. I think I found it weird that we were um, running, and then it basically cuts for to a cutscene where the character is walking. I think it's when you find the first map. I think that's the scene that I'm referencing here, if not mistaken by memory. Yeah, it's very janky. I think if they are able to put the technology there of him finding the map, and given that you already have on this remastered version some kind of pop-up things like The Last of Us, they got the circle there drawing your attention to something. I understand why they made it a cutscene because, again, finding the map in this game is something very crucial. But I think they could went about it in a different way. I'm not sure. Um, Even the combat, it's a little bit weird. The enemies that I saw, the models are, I don't know, they seem like blobs. I'm not sure what the intention was on the original game. If it is to look like uh, wandering blobs of flesh. They seem low quality definition comparative to the characters models that they have. Yeah, the game seems weird to me. It and not weird on the good sense. Seems that something was is missing. Seems that some work should be done more there. I don't know what. Again, I didn't watch detail and didn't take any notes of the things that I saw, but the sense that I got is it seems to be a little bit unfinished or unpolished in certain areas, but I cannot pick exactly what from what I've been seeing from the footage of this game, even from other live streams, the official live stream of gameplay and all that jazz. The game seems a little bit weird. but not in the good sense. And I think that because it's a horror game, horror games when they are weird, usually it's a good sign. But in this case, it seems weird on a technical level. But yeah, we got a lot of drama happened between the statements from Bloober team and Konami, and some throwing shade at each other to a certain aspect there a couple of months ago. But yeah, I'm not that so high on playing this game. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see the reviews and see what the opinions are. Given that this live stream was possible, most likely sponsored from because this is a well-known streamer, I think, in Japan or Korea. I'm not sure about this kanji stuff here. If it is Japanese or Korean, I'm sorry about that. It seems almost Korean, but here seems I don't know. I'm not linguistic here, so I'm not sure what the kanjis there are meaning. Um, yeah, Japanese streamer. It's right here on the beginning. Yeah, uh, must be simplified kanjis. I don't know. But yeah, other than that, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm just waiting for reviews to see if it is something that is worth putting on the wish list to play, or if it's something that I will have to pass. Because again, there are a lot of options in the market. You are not mandated to play any kind of games if you don't want to. But yeah, and lastly, again, Warner Brothers Discovery CFO says one of company's biggest priority is a Hogwarts legacy successor. We already have some rumblings about Hogwarts Legacy 2, uh, but the worrying news is at the time, around the time that Suicide Squad launched, they were wanting that the sequel for Hogwarts Legacy to be with the live service, the same way that Suicide Squad is, which I don't think is the best approach, given that I understand a reason for why, because we have the school stuff where you can have interactions there and some stuff there and some explorations that you can do on the surrounding areas of Hogwarts or kind of missions outside of that area. But I don't think it will hold up like a live service. People will not play it. Uh, they also tend to forget that I think one of the reasons is not the main reason, but one of the reasons that this game sold so well is again, I think it started around this time, 2022, 23, when they starting doing the campaigns against the author J.K. Rowling of the Eastern films and the acronym Mafia trying to cancel the game before it even came out, and that basically put a lot of people just out of spite of that. We saw a lot of people paying at least two free copies, and then some of them made some giveaways for people to play the game. But overall, the game is pretty good. From It's got excellent feedback from the players. It's a single player with in-depth mechanics. The story seems to be pretty good, from what I understand. The magic system seems to be very in line, at least with the movies. It's the only point of reference that I have. And the environment, you got even the village outside, and even I think the village where you buy all the stuff there, the wand stuff, where this happens. I think it's very much in line with the universe itself, so it's very faithful. And given that Harry Potter fans, it's a huge base of customers there. I think they did it well and made it justice to a certain point. Even though this is a prequel, it's not Harry Potter per se. It's not on Harry Potter era. It's like 100 or 200 years before, something like that. But it did manage to capture the essence of the that universe and put it in a pretty good narrative driven single player story there. But yeah, this is what make the game sell 20 plus million copies just in 2023. It was the best selling game, from what I understand, in that year. And yeah, the CFO continued that basically, again, he didn't did any specifics. He just said that they are focused on Hogwarts Legacy sequel, and he says that in a couple of years down the road, again, we might get some teasers in a couple of years. So 2020, by the end of 2025, maybe beginning so 2026, we have more information or more specific information besides the rumors that leak that will eventually come out in the meantime. But yeah, they really recognized that was a significant growth contribution from the game business in their strategy there. Again, 22 million copies just in 2023. It's already sold a couple of million copies already in this year. But yeah, they compare and contrast with this year, and you got the shit show that it is Suicide Squad, which again everybody knows, leading to $200 million on losses for Warner Brothers, was a decline of 41% in revenue from the game divisions as an overall, taking everything in account, which is a huge hit there. Um, yeah. I don't know what to tell you. Hopefully, they're not going to make the same mistake uh, with the sequel by going just with the Suicide Squad. Again, Suicide Squad itself already had a lot of issues because Rocksteady, I think, if not mistaken, they were planning to do a single player game regarding uh, this this game. It was more narrative driven, even though with the same kind of characters there, trying to get a different story out of it, taking into account what they already built with the Batman Arkham trilogy. But I think they had the mandate of going to alter everything that they did to more live service a game, which it's not their specialty. I don't think they never worked on a live service game, and again, that all of a sudden transform in a completely different game. But because when you set out to a creative project like a game, you have to set some goals there at the beginning, so you know what you are working for. And I think from the in the middle of production, they just had the mandate to go for live service. There was some recently layoffs there also. They only from the quality assurance department, they reduced for half or less than half of the people there, and of course this will be suffering even more from next updates or the next whatever they are going to do with this. It's going to be even worse. I think this is already in the loop of spiral of death there. Yeah, I don't see any good things coming out of Suicide Squad, because even the contents there, I think they will have to be forced to or feel forced to launch the updates there while while the base player there is still justifiable for them, even though again they are bleeding money out of that. But I think it will be kind of a write-off, and they will probably just launch what they already did there in terms of content for the season pass or whatever they are, so they don't feel mandated to do something like Concord, which is basically shut down and trying to have to return the sorry the trying to return the money to customers, something like that. I don't know. I don't think this game is, or this IP as it currently is, like the Suicide Squad or the Batman games, it's now in the good footing to because in terms of animations and the things, it seemed pretty interesting there. But yeah, other than that, the I don't know. I didn't like this since it was started. Then we got this kind of character design, which looks like a guy, but it's a woman, which is again. I don't want to go in a rant there, but yeah, hopefully they will learn all the lessons and stick with a true sequel, let's say, to Hogwarts Legacy, or if not continuing the story because I never played the game, but or at least maintain itself in line with what they did with the first game. Basically, that's my point there. But yeah, other than that, we're just going for gaming deals. We got Vampyr, 80% off. This is part of the Focus Entertainment games there. A lot of them entered on sale yesterday, I think. We got also a Plague Tale. the Plague Tale Innocence is 80% off, and if you want to buy both games, you got a bundle here. But if you want to complete the collection of these two games, you got also Plague Tale Requiem 60% off. We got also Atomic Heart. This is one of those that I'm still interested in one day exploring to see what this is all about. It's at this moment 60% off. We got also Doom Keeper, 50% off, and then we got also the deluxe edition, which is the same 51% off, give or take. And then you got Baldur's Gate 3, it's still on sale until the 9th of September, and at this moment is 20% off on the base game there. On GOG, we still have Alien Isolation. These deals will wrap up in around 2 days or so, around 2 days and a half at the date of publishing this video. So we got Alien Isolation, the collection, 80% off. That's all the DLC here associated with the game. We got also Deus Ex, Human Revolution, Director's Cut, 85% off, and then you got Mankind Divided Digital Deluxe Edition, which is has all the DLC included, 85% off. Then we got Mutineer Zero Road to Eden. This is the deluxe edition. If you're not unsure, you can buy the standard edition. It's a little bit cheaper, but the deluxe edition has the DLC. Again, I played this game. I made a series out of it. It's a very interesting game. It's kind of XCOM-y in terms of it is an isometric turn-based game with a little bit exploration when you can set up your characters to do ambushes here. The story is decent. It's enjoyable there. It's got some mysteries, got some plot twists, but nothing out of the ordinary. I do recommend playing this game if you want to try out. I just wished it was around $15 or below to give it like a 5-star stamp of approval. You must play this game. But yeah, it's still very enjoyable. It's not very expensive. You get some enjoyment out of it. This one doesn't have the thing that it usually has on GOG, the time to completion. It took me a while to complete this game. Again, the game is not perfect, but it's good. Um if you, I will not condemn you if you buy it at this sale point. That's my main choice there. Then you got Wasteland 2 Director's Cut Digital Deluxe Edition, 75% off, and the Wasteland 3 Colorado Edition, 75% off. All of them have all the DLC, playable DLC associated with it, and I will eventually go about and replaying this game and then go for Wasteland 3. Again, I just need to make some time to in my schedule to do those games there. But yeah, other than that, I will wrap up today here with a plug on my Patreon as usual. The extra support from the Patreon at this moment in time is for me to try and gather a better storage solution for me to be able to get backups for the stuff that I do for my clients, and also some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And basically, that's all for today. Tomorrow is my day off, so I will see you Monday. And well, all said, I hope you have a wonderful day. And till then, Kunamy Master out.